recording and
You're now listening to the Chewing Ground podcast.
what's up, guys? How is everybody doing today? I asked that as if you guys can answer me, but welcome to episode 33. We have a very special guest today. I met her at my nail salon. She was doing her nails, and fun fact, she's a sex coach. She has a book. She is the writer of Sis, Do You Know How Sexual You Are, which is also a very fun book. I read this all yesterday. It's an easy read, very fun. Highly recommend it for all women that are looking to get more in tune with their sexuality and how sexual you are as a person, or if you have questions about that. This is a great book for that. On top of that, I think for men, if you are going to read this, it's good to know a perspective of the women's side of things. You can apply this for men, but it's even better if you because there's certain things that I learned, and we'll talk about this today. And today we have the writer Noni, and your last name is Repass or Fanta?
It's actually Noni Fanta.
Fanta Repass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome Noni. Thank you for coming in today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm super excited.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this book first. First off, when did you write this?
I actually wrote it in October of 2020.
2020, man. This is a really fun book. I like what you did where you added a lot of definitions, especially for people like me who don't know certain things. I want to point out a couple things that you wrote in here.
Okay.
I love the style of writing.
Okay.
It's so youthful. You put lols in there. You also wrote, I remember there's this big part where it said now go bust those nuts and enjoy the rest of your day.
Right.
Yeah, I love this. You are a sex coach. How long have you been sex coaching?
2 years.
2 years.
Almost 2 years.
How did you get into this field?
I actually got into the field in March of 2020. I became a independent bedroom candy consultant, and
Okay.
a part of that, I found out that
Wait, bedroom candy?
bedroom candy.
That's a
Sex
field?
toys. Yes, the sex toys. Yes, you never heard of Candy Burris from the group Escape?
Maybe. Maybe if I see the picture. That's crazy.
Yeah. So back in the day, I used to do passion parties.
Okay.
So I've always been the person that loves sex and freedom and getting to know yourself and
Yeah.
things like that. And I didn't know it was a thing that you can become a sex coach.
Wow.
Yes. So 2020, in the height of pandemic, I went and became a bedroom candy consultant, and then I found when I was doing the tools, I can become a sexuality coach.
Right.
I was like, oh.
Right.
And you have to apply. Not everyone is accepted. Before you're even accepted into the program, they actually research you. They see what you post online. They watch your page and everything.
Wow.
And then you'll get the email saying you're accepted into the institute, and you actually set up a call with Dr. Rachel at the same time.
Okay.
And you go in it from
So
there.
how do you get clients, and what type of clients do you get?
Okay, for me, it's been, I'm not going to say difficult, but a lot of people are afraid.
Oh yeah, of course.
Afraid. So I've gotten clients off of Instagram. I actually did a podcast a year ago
Okay.
with actually it wasn't a podcast. It was their students in India found me on Instagram.
Oh, wow, what are the odds of that? Huh?
Very strange.
Yeah.
And I was on, they had a symposium
Okay.
for the students, and I was on there for
Wow.
an hour and a half, and we're talking about India now.
Yeah.
We're talking about India.
Yeah.
So, and there was some teachers that were on there too. It was all online, and
Wow.
it was an hour and a half. It was amazing.
Well, I hope that if this, as my podcast grows, I hope that I can bring some clients to you, especially the ones that are shy, willing to figure out their sexuality, or whether it's coming to questions on coming out, things like that. Because when you are a sex coach, what fields within sex do you help with?
I pretty much, okay. So my main target is men and the LGBTQ community.
Really? Men and LGBTQ?
Men, yes.
That's interesting with this book.
Exactly. So the behind the book is I did a domestic violence event. And a part of the domestic violence event, the young lady that I was doing the event with, she was like, you need to do a booklet. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But she was like, no, you need to do something, like make it a 10-page. I was like, okay. So I had one of my friends, I was like, okay, I need a book cover for this booklet.
Right.
And she was like, okay. I was like, I want somebody on there. Came up with the name. And she put another person's image on there. And I was like, if we're going to use that, I might as well use me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's awesome.
When she did the cover, I had to go back in the lab,
right?
Honestly,
yeah,
and rewrite it. Like the topics were still there. It's still the same topics. It still was the topics, but I had to go deeper. So I went deeper.
Wow.
That's why it was released in November, like November 14th of 2020.
Yeah. And we'll talk about the book more in a second. But with sex coaching, you said that your target audience is men and also domestic violence.
No, well, I did a domestic violence event to help women.
Okay.
You know, when you are a part of DV, and it's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional. So helping women understand, because men are in domestic violence situations also.
Oh yeah.
You know, people don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You want to be able to, because someone has made you feel a certain type of way, you want to be able to own who you are.
Right.
So for me, that's why it's about owning who you are in general. Like, I love talking to women. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I'm open to anyone who is willing to come in and to be open and honest.
Right. So is your goal with sex coaching mainly to help clients, what is it, like more find their sexuality, or like is it what specifically are the goals?
One of my main goals is to owning your sexuality, understanding the importance of intimacy with yourself first, and then intimacy with your partner.
Yes, and you talked about that a lot in this.
Yes.
I remember there was parts about how, and I agree with this, and I feel like as not every male audience member or male person will agree with this, but I feel like if you are, I want to say it in a way where I don't sound like cocky or anything, but like if you have been experienced in the sexual world, you'll learn that the women that you'll tend to have the best sex with and the most intimate sex with are ones that know themselves and like have played with themselves, knows what they like and certain things like that.
Absolutely.
And you emphasize that in this. Yeah. I remember there was a part on the importance of the clitoris. There was a masturbation little segment and everything like that. I actually wanted to ask you about one specific thing.
Okay.
Chapter 4. You said, what and where is your G-spot? 2 or 3 inches in the vagina that exists in the anterior wall.
Yes.
Does every girl have a G-spot?
Everybody has a G-spot. The key thing is knowing.
Now I'm starting to question myself.
But see, here's the thing though. Okay, so when you think about the G-spot, so
Right.
you got to go in the vagina at this point, right?
Right.
And when you go in 2 to 3 inches and you'll actually feel it. It feels hard until you're aroused.
Oh, okay.
It feels hard.
So you have to wait till you're out.
So you pretty much, yeah. Well, you can feel it before. It has a roughness to it.
Can you hit it with just your fingers, or
you can't hit it with just your fingers?
Okay.
But you got to go because it's a certain way. It's on the side. It's not as soon as you go in, you're going to feel it. It's actually
like
to the
up.
side.
Oh,
Yes,
to the side.
It's to the side. That's why when we talk about it and when women pleasure themselves, we talk about curved toys. Because curved toys are the quote unquote the hook. Getting a man who has the curve.
Yes, I was gonna
it.
say that because when you watch porn and you wonder why so many of the dicks are like that or like that,
right.
which is interesting.
It's because of hitting the G spot. It's hitting the G spot because it's a curve. It's literally
those lucky guys.
But here's the thing, though. You know that you can have her orgasm without it being penetration. You can.
Yeah.
You can. So it's actually
with the clitoris.
Not even just the clitoris. She can have a G-spot orgasm by using your fingers.
Okay.
If you do it properly.
Okay.
Hygiene, proper hygiene, nails clean. Don't be going inside the coochie with dirty nails.
Yeah, I need to get my calluses. I mean,
Your
manicure. Yeah. Well, I do own a nail salon. My sister does, so I need to get that. But okay, so hygiene. What other tips do you have for guys who want to be good at sex in general? I know you talked a little bit about that, not towards just guys, but you kind of talked about like how to just be sexual, how to be more open with it. Now, if you were to like, if I had an audience member out there, let's say a younger kid who wants to learn like how to please a girl, one, and how to like do it correctly, what are ways that a guy can be good at sex?
The one thing I always talk about is not only just communication, but comprehension. With it, because you can communicate. I can say, oh, I like this, but let's say you've never done it before,
right?
So because you've never done it before, you want to do research. Yes, I know, porn.
Nah, it's normal.
YouTube, exactly.
Now it's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
So you want to go in and not the act of sex, because that's all staged. It's not about the act of sex. It actually is about watching. They do have intimate porn, so you want to watch intimate porn. You want to watch how, believe it or not, how lesbian porn is, how they kiss each other, how they touch each other, how they even explore one another. It's very different than watching
normal men
and
porn.
Women porn.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, like, if you take a step back and you look at it, because we're very sexual beings, majority of women who, just know, we know how to kiss, and it's that smoothness. And then it's also that the conversation with your partner. What does she like?
Lauren, what do you like? That's my girlfriend.
Right. What does he like? There's so many different techniques. Like with Bedroom Kandi, we have card games that you could play. We have dice that you can use. So you start off slow. And like I always tell, and it was even recently, I did a Bedroom Kandi party for the first time in person, with COVID and everything. And I actually spoke about that. I said, how are you going to tell him what you like if you haven't even explored yourself?
That's very true. What and to the women viewers pertaining to this, what toys do you recommend, like, for someone getting into it and to trying to explore themselves and obviously use your fingers, but what else?
Use your fingers. Okay, so one of my favorites, if you are a clit stimulator, like clit stimulation is like your number one thing.
So not all girls are?
Not all girls are clit stimulated. No.
I thought they were.
No.
Learning things.
See, that's why you need to have the conversation.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's very hard to have the conversation about sex when you're with somebody, because people are scared.
Which is weird to me that it's hard. I'm an open guy.
Me too.
So I tell my girlfriend, like, do you like that or do you not? I don't like that, but I get it. Some people are shy, and
because you got to think about this too, how you were raised when it comes to sex. So I'm from New York, born and raised, Queens, New York. We're very open in New York, so we're different. Right. Coming here in the South the last 4 years, it's like even hearing, we say coochie, we say vagina, all of that. Here it's like the pocketbook.
Oh, yeah.
When I first heard that, I was like,
pocketbook?
What are you talking about, pocketbook? Then I heard them
This might be the first time I heard it, to
right.
be honest.
And then it was like dating myself. That's against, you're not supposed to date yourself. And I was like, I take myself out on dates all the time because in my mind, going out on dates. So you go to the movies. They was like, no, that means masturbation. I was like, and this is why y'all having so many issues when it comes to sex, because one, y'all giving these fake false names. Yeah. You're not being open. Like, it's okay to say vagina. It's okay to say penis. Right. You want to say those names because how are you teaching your kids you don't want them to have sex? Oh, you need to be abstinent. Okay, but why? Are you letting them know that it's because sex is an emotional thing? Will you be able to handle it? That's why I don't agree with, me personally, young adults having sex, because can you handle the emotional and mental outlash of what happens when we have sex? I want you to think about that. When you sit back and have sex at 16 or 15, we think we mature.
Oh no. Yeah, I remember.
You think you're in love and
Yep.
you sit back and you have this act, and sex is traumatizing because it hurts. Nobody explained the fact that it hurts. Nobody explained that you should be using lube anyway. Nobody's explaining.
Really?
It
The lube
doesn't-
part?
Yes, it doesn't matter if you have WAP. You should always use
WAP.
lube.
Wow.
And the reason why you should always use lube
Yeah.
because of the friction. You get micro tears. You don't want micro tears.
Yeah, maybe that's why Lauren. Not just like, no, but yeah.
Like, and a lot of people,
that makes sense.
I've definitely gotten a lot of backlash because I've even said it. I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, I'd
Yeah.
be like, no, I got this, and then it was like, oh wait, I just went to the bathroom and it burns. That's
Right.
because of the friction.
Okay, now I will agree that there are times where the vagina can burn. Like I know I've communicated where it's like
Right.
but I do have a question with lube. Doesn't that take away some of the sensation though?
Absolutely not.
No, because I have used it before. It's
Okay.
been a while, but
You
Trying to remember it.
Think about you have all different types of lubes.
that's true.
You want a water-based lube?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, I had
so
one.
and I only speak about the products that I personally use.
Right.
So me with Bedroom Kandi, our products are high-grade silicone. So you can't just use a silicone lube. You can't use Vaseline because you have people that use Vaseline. Right. I love coconut oil because it's natural.
lube?
Yes.
I know you can use it. I'm just surprised that you use that as the lube.
Yes.
Interesting.
I personally do because it also moisturizes the vagina.
And you use it every time, lube, or
I
most
do.
of the time?
I do.
Every time.
I do. I do. And I do. I don't need it.
Yeah.
But I also know what can happen when you don't.
So this is for all the people all the women that love being like smooth and moisturized all the time.
Let me tell you something. And not,
I
of
get
course, with Bedroom Kandi, you cannot use with our products. You cannot use olive oil with it, right? Not olive oil. Coconut oil.
Coconut
Excuse
oil.
me. You can't
Start
use,
cooking.
right? You can't use coconut
Yeah.
oil because it will destroy the toys.
Ah.
Right. So we have water-based lubes. We have one that is a silicone and water-based lubes. We have
So
a
coconut
two
oil
lube-
is just for like sex, like normal.
No, for me.
Oh, for you.
Yeah, for me
Okay.
personally. But you can use it because also at the same time, after you have sex, it rejuvenates the vagina. It gives you it's healthy. Coconut oil is good for your skin. So after you shave and after all these other things, you can use it
I'll
for
have to try
multiple
that.
reasons. Yeah. You have to use it for multiple reasons. It helps with scarring and things like that.
It's easy to buy too.
Yes, it is. So but in Bedroom Kandi, when you purchase a toy, we have you purchase lube and a toy cleaner.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes.
Yeah, what are pricing like? I haven't been on Bedroom Kandi.
Okay, so we go from $26 as far as toys, $26, which is battery operated, all the way up to $149.
Okay.
Because once the prices go up higher, those are our
Does this include the
rechargeable-
lube?
No. Well, if you order stuff with me, we'll do like packages to come together. Like one of my favorite toys is our Womanizer, our Womanizer Pro, which is all about.
That already
clips
sounds
and
amazing.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Is that the one
amazing.
thing that has the both? Like it's like a dildo and also like the clit?
No.
Oh, okay.
This one is actually it's a long. It actually looks like a thermometer.
Okay.
It looks like a thermometer.
Okay.
honestly.
Interesting.
It's really weird. It does.
Okay.
It looks like a thermometer. And we have two different versions. We have the Womanizer Pro, and then we have the Womanizer Scarlet 2.
Okay.
So I always say to people, if you have a high sexual frequency, which means when you play with your toys, they have to be on a high, like you can't level 1, 2, 3, or 4 is not going to work for you. You
see.
need 6, 7, like I'm that person. I need high.
That's my
I
girlfriend.
need 6. So I wouldn't purchase Starlet because Starlet only has 4 settings. So it really wouldn't work for me. Womanizer Pro goes up to 7. So that works for me.
Okay. I see.
So, so you have to know what it is. Because if you're a person that plays with, and it also goes by when you're rubbing, do you like intense? With the Womanizer and the Starlet, it has suction. So it's the suction.
Oh,
Yeah, it's about
fun.
suction. Yeah, so it's not giving you penetration or anything. It's actually suction and blowing.
How often do you use toys during intercourse? Like during like regular sex with a man? Rarely, never, yes.
No, We use them.
Yeah.
We use them
Often or not?
We
often?
do. It depends what mood. It
Okay.
all depends. It all depends on the mood. It all depends.
Okay.
And I also want to state is when you start to overuse your toys, it does mess up the sensation of what you're doing with your partner.
I was thinking about that side of it too.
Yeah, it's great, it's fun, but after a certain amount of time, and it all depends on which ones you're using. Like I said, if you're a clit stimulator, at some point it gets uncomfortable because now when he's pleasing you or she's pleasing you, whatever your partner is, you want to sit back and enjoy that partner. But if you're frequently using the clit stimulator on a regular basis, you don't really get to.
Do you think that applies to regular masturbation as well?
Absolutely.
Also with men?
Absolutely.
I've noticed that. I mean, sex is great regardless, especially for a guy. It's just, in, out, done, boom. For guys, at least, girls is like a whole nother thing. But if you jerk off a lot with your hand, sometimes that can, I wouldn't say it feels better, but sometimes you get to the point where you're like, you'll have sex and you're like, okay. And then that night you're like, I'm a jerk off because I don't know. It's weird.
You've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
We'll just use this as an example. You go 3 weeks with jerking off.
Right.
3 weeks. And then all of a sudden you start to have sex. You probably won't bust right away.
Really?
You probably won't.
Yeah,
Think
probably
about
won't.
it.
Not right away. Yeah.
Not right away. You probably get like, she's not taking care of me. And it's not that you're not attracted to her. It's not that you don't want her. It's literally more or less you've been so used to your hand. We even have toys for men.
Yeah.
With bedroom candy.
Oh, so all right. So where can everyone find? Is it just bedroomcandy.com?
It's bedroomcandy.com.
Nice and easy.
/11526.
Is what is that /?
That's my
yours.
number. So you'll directly go directly.
I'll put that link down
Okay.
on the description. It's / what again?
11526.
11526. Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
So on there, you can book a party. We can do in-person parties. We can do a virtual party.
Define a party. What is
So
this?
I'll come. Let's say we do a party.
Right.
Let's say you contact me. Oh, I want to do a bachelorette party or a girls' night in, or a couples party.
Okay.
Even couples, it could be you and your partner. It doesn't matter. It could be 1 or 2. Everyone has to be over 18.
Right.
And I'll come and bring the products and show the different products we have. We'll play games and you make your order and go on.
And do whatever you want to do.
That's it. Right. And your products come discreet.
Yeah.
You won't. It doesn't say like bedroom candy on there.
Right.
It'll come in a regular box.
Oh, that's fun.
So
I want to ask you. So, hopping back to if you're a woman or a man who has gotten addicted to the stimulation from a sex toy or your hands, whatever, what do you recommend for them to get back into reality of like regular sex? A tolerance break, or like should they like lower the like what do you do?
Me personally would recommend you taking a break from any type of toy or manual masturbation.
Okay.
Because let's say if you're going to see your girlfriend, let's say you haven't seen her in 2 weeks. So for those 2 weeks, you've been masturbating really hard.
Right.
Right. And now it's time to be with her.
Okay. But
and you tend to have the sex fright.
Right. But do you think that, okay, in a weird way, do you think that benefits a guy because then they'll last longer? You know what I'm saying?
But
then you don't enjoy it as much.
No. Because think about it. Because when you're full, your sack is heavier.
Yeah.
Right? When you're full, when you need to ejaculate, your sack is heavier.
But then it comes out really easy.
Right. But you want to be able to enjoy. Now, there's nothing wrong with releasing quick the first time. Get it out the way, because then you'll have those extra, just get it out the way.
Yeah, but then you might be tired. You know how guys are.
Because you know that I talk about that, the different hormones inside. So think about this though. Even with you being tired, relax for a moment. But here's the one thing I want to say: communicate with your partner. Okay, we have not had sex in X amount of time. Let me release this first one, so we can go and have some fun.
I know. And this is a thing that a lot of guys have done. That like I was in a fraternity in college, and like a long time ago, and this was a thing where before, if you haven't had sex in a while, you would jerk off that day before, just so you can last longer.
Right.
Yeah, because that's a thing.
Right? No, it is. It's true. It's
Interesting.
true. But you know what? Also, too, not everybody's first nut is fast.
No, I agree. I think actually the longest I've ever had sex in my one of the top 3 longest I've ever had sex in my life was the first time I ever had sex. But I was also under the influence of marijuana, so that could have been the reason. I don't. Okay, and speaking of that, do you ever talk about, and like you can be honest. If you don't, then we can move on from this convo. But like drugs and sex, like
I have not really had that conversation, but I can say
I don't know too much about it. I just know marijuana.
Am I gonna say 20? Is it 20 years? 2002. Probably about 20 years ago, I actually did smoke and went to have sex, and
it's different.
to me, it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those, oh my gosh.
Yeah, some people are like that.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it would be because I kept hearing it was going to, and it didn't do that for me. And guess what? That's okay. Now, drinking and sex, now I can do that.
Okay, I have my love and hate with drinking and sex, because like the pros is like you're always horny, you're really horny,
Right.
both
But it
the
also
women.
depends what you're drinking too.
True. Wait, does it?
Yeah, think about it. If you're drinking something really, okay, let's say beer, because most times beer makes somebody go to the bathroom a lot,
Bloated, too.
and you're bloated and this and this and that, and
Yeah.
you're burping, and
Yeah.
now wine, depending on the percentage.
Right. Okay.
One of my favorites is like 14.5%.
Okay, so 14.5 wine sex is the way to go. Okay, guys, everybody, all the
Right?
kids out
You
there,
know?
60-year-olds, write your notes. Just
You
like-
know, so you have wine, you know, then you have hard liquor, because for some people, you know,
That gets you messed up,
The
though.
white and dark, light and dark, and
Yeah.
depending, you know, for my culture, Hennessy will have you doing things.
Right. Hey, that's an Asian thing too. We love Hennessy. We love that Henny. But with alcohol, I find it that the biggest con is, well, one, you're tired usually. Two, as a guy, sometimes it's hard to get up. And then for a girl, I've noticed that some women don't get wet
Absolutely.
when they're drunk. And so
Absolutely. That's why I said it all depends. It depends on the, also too, your environment. Your environment.
Would
So
that
if
affect
you
it?
use it? If you're using a ceiling fan, you're not gonna get wet.
Really?
Yeah.
You know,
You think
Why?
about that. Because the ceiling fan is going and it's drying you up. You're open.
Okay.
And it's drying you up.
interesting. I know for sure with environment, shower sex. I noticed that, I don't know. Every single time I've done it and I've had it, the vagina it's fine, but it's not as wet as it would be without. I don't know. That could just be my experience. Because like the moment we're
like
out the shower sex, it's fun. It's like an appetizer. You're like you're having fun. I can't finish in the shower. And the women, at least my current girlfriend and my past 2 that I've experienced this with, they don't really enjoy it. So maybe it's one, I'm doing something wrong, or are you using anything in the shower?
Are you having oral sex before?
Not shower, maybe not shower,
Oral sex before.
maybe. Okay.
Oral sex before.
Okay, I have a
Just think
question with
about
the oral
that.
sex.
Go ahead.
Okay, what if a girl doesn't like oral sex? Is that are they lying? First of all.
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to ask the question on why they don't like oral sex, because there's so many different reasons why a woman doesn't like oral sex. So this is about to get a little heavy.
Okay.
She could have been sexually molested.
Very true.
The first time she was, somebody did go down, didn't do a good job, and made her uncomfortable.
Oh.
See, that part we don't think about. We just think about, oh, they just don't want it. No, something could have happened. And like I said, it doesn't have to always be the sex trauma. What sexual, when somebody does something hurtful to you as far as being sexually molested. But if somebody went down and didn't do it right, made them uncomfortable. Think about when you are
makes
doing
sense.
oral sex. It's that pleasure. You want both parties to be into it and
Yeah.
enjoy. If she doesn't, find out. That's why I talk about communication and comprehension.
Now-
what is it?
What, like, let's say we find out what
Okay.
it is. Is there a way to move past it, or should you just accept it and just be like, okay?
No, because you need to just have the conversation. Once you have the conversation, you'll be able to move better that way.
Okay.
Because then it could be they had it and it wasn't pleasurable because there was no lube involved. Like Bedroom Kandi, we have a whole
Oral lube?
Yeah.
For women?
Yes. You have things that you give oral. Yes, we have delicious encounters. It comes in chocolate. It comes in green apple.
What are the calories of this? I'll try it.
But no, it's these things. Like you can use that.
Okay.
You know, that's we have like massage oils also. Like Bedroom Kandi products are vegan.
I'm gonna put in my notes.
Yeah. Are vegan, then animal tested. They're free from animal testing. You know, so it's a lot of pleasurable things. So you want to enhance it.
Right.
You know, we do have certain things that you can use a little bit for oral, but when it comes to penetration, you want to make sure you cleaned it up.
Okay, interesting.
So, but like our delicious encounters, like I said.
Is that in the instructions too, though?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It does.
What's your number thing again? It's bedroomcandy.com
/ 11 526.
Yeah, just so I can use it.
Yeah.
If I need to.
Right.
Interesting.
But you want because you want to make it fun.
Yeah.
Like we have something called Slickable, and we also have Sweet on Me, and that you can use for oral pleasure. Like all these things that are so great when it comes to because you can do it without anything,
right?
But make it fun.
Yeah.
Make it a lot of fun.
Okay.
You know, and find out, okay, what has happened. See, we don't communicate that.
Yeah.
You know, there are guys who don't like oral pleasure either.
That's crazy to me.
Why?
Well, okay, it's not crazy to me.
Okay.
If there's a valid reason. Like I guess yeah, if they had a terrible time the first time, or if they were molested or something, obviously.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. Personally, I found it that if a girl knows how to do it, it's
right.
Can be not better than sex, but like up there.
Okay, so what do you mean that knows how to do it? Is it on because she knows how to please you?
True.
What she do? Because there's women that know how to do it, and there are certain things that it won't happen with other individuals.
Yeah.
Because you get into
limiting.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
You have a connection. That's why I talk about intimacy. That's why I talk about being intimate.
Yeah.
Because when you
That's in the first chapter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I say once you get a chance to be extremely intimate with yourself and then your partner, you explain to your partner the things that you like, your connection will have you doing things, being open to, you
That's
know,
true.
all those things that you weren't expecting to
Yeah,
happen
sex is
before.
always better when it's more intimate.
Right.
Yeah. I do want to point out, just sort of the people who are interested in getting the book, it's the workbook. I would say it's like a total of 88 pages. However, they're really easy to read. Like, it's super big font. So, and only about, I would say maybe 30 are like reading pages, maybe 40. So like half of the book, and then half is going to be like your own input adding on. And then at the end of it, I love that you added this where they can contact you after how they feel and everything. And then that way you get a client. And
Right.
also they have someone to talk to after all that.
Right.
But
Because actually, I'm going to say it on here too.
yeah, go ahead.
I am rewriting the book, so it'll be a second edition, and also I am coming out with a men's and women's intimacy journal.
When are you
31
doing
days.
this?
The intimacy journals will be out in April.
Okay.
Because of it's a certain format, and because it is actually questions. It's not going to be based, even though it's 31 days.
Yeah.
It's not where it's April 1st, April 2nd.
Yeah,
April 3rd.
let's have
No.
you want to come back on
Oh,
in April
definitely,
so we can
yeah.
promote it.
Yes, definitely.
You send me that book whenever it releases.
Okay.
I'll read it and then we
Okay.
can have you on.
All right,
Okay.
yeah.
So April, we'll circle back on that. I do have homework for you. This we're not closing up the podcast, but I do want to mention this. We talked about this prior to this podcast that a great show for you to watch would be Euphoria.
Yes.
That should be your homework, so we can talk about
I'm
it.
gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it today when I get home.
It is more drug focused than sex, but sex is probably the second, if not third, biggest emphasis on the show. It's a lot of like, you know, teenagers going through, and it's the scary reality of what it is like right now. Like, and I remember I was watching a show like Euphoria, and we talked about this with sex education a little bit, and I'll dive into that as well. With Euphoria, I watched it with my cousin. She's 30 years old, and then I watched it with my girlfriend who is 20, turning 21. And I'm 24. So we're all a little bit different, but like pretty close, right? And we all had a little bit of a different perspective when watching this show, because my cousin, she grew up in a black neighborhood, going to a predominantly black school, and she was like, we didn't do any of this. We were like there was just people smoking weed and drinking Hennessy. Like that was it.
I'm laughing because that is the same conversation when somebody that I had told me about that. That was his same thing. He
Literally.
said, he's like, yo, he said, honestly, Noni, you need to watch it. I said, I am, but I've been working on so many other things, so that's why I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. And he said, us of color, he said, we didn't do that other stuff. He said, now, drinking, yes.
It's crazy that it's like that.
Right.
It's just like the environment you grow up in, you have completely different perspectives. And then you guys can watch this show almost like you guys are at a zoo. Like, watching like these creatures, like you're like, we wouldn't do that, you know?
And the reality of it is, people are very quick to always say we wouldn't do that until they're in that situation.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I didn't do that because that was like, some of it is like crazy. But I was in environments that was going on. Some of it, yeah. Like there's this in the first episode you'll watch, and I won't spoil it, but there's a party. And that was the emphasis with my cousin when she was watching. She was like, there was not girls doing that, and there was not drugs and all that. And I was like, there was that in my high school experience. And I guess it's just where you grow up.
It's always different. Like I said, born and raised in New York. So
yes. I was going to ask you about that.
Yes. So there were people having sex in the staircase.
That's crazy.
There was.
New York's hard. You grew up in Queens, right?
Yes.
Queens. I'm trying to think.
So,
Queens is which borough, like location? I'm trying to remember.
Queens,
Brooklyn's on the bottom right.
So we're above Brooklyn.
Above Brooklyn. So haven't been there yet.
Okay.
I want to go.
Wait.
Well,
so
I have.
Okay.
I've been in there.
Okay.
I got like food there once, and then that was it.
I was about to say, because Queens is the international, especially food. If you go to Jackson Heights under the 7 train, you have every nationality. I really want to go. Food. And then you have Flushing, which is
that's where I went.
So you got many China. I don't like to say Chinatown because it's all Asian ethnicities there, but they call that mini Chinatown, and then you have the regular Chinatown in Manhattan. I grew up South Side and then raised in Hollis. Okay. So I'm going to be 45. So you're talking about raising crack cocaine era family members that same way. Yeah. Drugs, so it wasn't, and you've seen it in your family. It wasn't something that was like, oh no, it was at least one person in your family. That's tough. That, and then now, grandma is taking care of the grandchild because, this is real. This is not anything, you have the projects, you have, I was very lucky. We didn't live in a project building. But we also lived where the crime growing up in Hollis, Queens and Queens Village, we still had that. The park where, things would happen. You had shootings. I've been a victim of being robbed in front of my house. Wow. I've been a victim of walking home and being robbed at gunpoint. And then I was just telling somebody this the other day. They didn't know. Not only was I just robbed at gunpoint, was going to get the police, and because I didn't have a conversation and I didn't want to stop to talk to this guy, he pulled a gun out of me. And it was like, what? Yeah. And this
How old were you?
Nope, I was 15. It was a month before my 16th birthday.
What was he robbing you for? Money?
When we got robbed, me and the guy that I was with, we had chains on. We just came back from the movies, and we were just walking home because it wasn't that far, and we literally was walking, and it was a guy and a girl, 2 shotguns, and
mask or no mask? You remember? No,
they didn't. They did have on masks.
Okay,
and it was a guy and a girl, shotguns.
Oh my god,
shotguns. We were on a corner, right by the store, and we were close to the guy I was with. We were less than 10 blocks. Wow, 15 blocks away from his house.
Wow.
and they got us.
Wow.
And it was literally a month before my 16th birthday.
Oh no.
I'll never forget it. It's one of those I can remember the image and everything.
Yeah.
And
so they put the gun. Where did they put the gun up to?
To our faces.
Wow.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
And then that was on a corner, and less than a block and a half away, I was seeing the cops there. Was going to the cops.
Right.
And this guy, it was a White Castle's and a KFC.
Oh.
And because I didn't speak to him, he got mad and pulled out his gun. I was like, you might as well kill me. I just
Did
got
he speak
robbed.
to who?
Anyway,
The cop?
No, me. Because I wouldn't talk to him because that was my focus was getting to the cops, and he was like, called me all types of names, pulled out his gun, and I was like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. At this point, it didn't make a difference. Right. I was just robbed. Like at that point, you know.
So he took your chains.
Like that guy didn't, but the couple that robbed us took everything from us.
So you got what do you consider robbed twice in one?
Well, because of the other one didn't take anything from me, but I had a gun pulled out on me twice within a short amount of period.
Insane, dude.
Right.
What?
Right. And then a few years after that, in front of my house, it probably was about maybe 3 years later.
What?
If that. I was outside with a guy that I was seeing and his cousin. We was in front of our house, front of my house, talking and everything. And this guy came from around the corner. I was like, he's got a gun. And he came and he took from the guy I was dating, his cousin. They was running around the car. And he went inside the car, like grabbed stuff without the car and hit him with the gun. And I was able to run upstairs to my house, call the cops. Whoa. They end up catching him like down the road because he was in the neighborhood doing that and
now,
stuff. So,
if I'm not mistaken, New York now has new gun rules, right?
I think so.
It's harder to have a gun.
It's always been hard to have a gun.
Really?
Yes.
And
so
they
you have
what?
So you have New York City,
right,
and New York State.
Yeah.
So New York City consists of the 5 boroughs: Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx, and Staten Island. Yeah. New York State is upstate and Long Island, Nassau, and Suffolk. Nassau and Suffolk, you have a better chance of getting a gun, especially to protect your home.
Because you're in the state.
Right, because that's the state. Yeah. The 5 boroughs, if you didn't have a business...
Yeah, you're not having
or you wasn't in a gun club, it wasn't that... you didn't
so
have that
So it's probably
access.
Illegal, or they were bringing it into the States.
So, yeah, so...
That's crazy,
and I was telling my friend about that. She was like... I said, so people, you don't never know someone's story.
Right.
Until you have a conversation with
them. And then because of that experience, you became a sex...
No, but it's so crazy because like a few years after that, like I said, I was with Passion Parties and I used to watch Berman and Berman.
Okay.
On Discovery Health. One of the health channels.
Girl, I barely know that.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I've heard of it.
My daughter's older than you, actually.
Really? How old is your daughter?
My daughter will be 26.
I'm trying to remember her name. It's in the book. Well, you said you're many me, and then I'm trying to Asia.
Tiara Asia.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how old is she?
She is 25, going to be 26.
Okay, she's barely older than me, but yeah, we're in the same age group. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How? Okay. I want to talk about this because it just popped up, but I want to hop back into New York.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about that too. How was it talking sex to your daughter? Like that experience?
It was funny.
Yeah.
Because I remember she was 4 or 5. And she was like, where do babies...
4 or 5?
Yeah. She was like, where do babies come from? My daughter was always pretty advanced. Like, she was not your average child. Like, you know, she was the first of a lot of 5th generation. Okay. So it was always adults around. And she never was in the adult conversations, but she she was the first one. Like, everybody else was older.
That's how it is.
So, right. So, she was like 4 or 5. We were going to the pool, and she was like, where do babies come from? I ignored her. I was like, we're not having this conversation right now. We're getting ready to go to the pool.
Right.
We at the pool getting ready to eat. Mommy, you didn't answer the question. Where do babies come from? And I was like, oh my gosh. When 2 people have sex, you don't want to do that because you would die. They was like, why would you say that? I was a parent
so
at
funny.
19, okay? I was a parent at 19.
That's funny.
You know,
Right.
so they was like, why would you say that? I said, so they said, why would you say that? I said, think about it. There's something called HIV and AIDS. Don't you die from that? It was like,
so
you know what?
funny.
But that's what I said. But then we've had conversations
Yeah.
about sex. She's very private.
Okay.
So she's not a person like
So
we
when
have
she
friends.
when she got older, like in her teenage years, did you guys ever have that talk?
We did, but as far as me trying to remember the conversation.
Yeah, I
But
gotcha.
it wasn't like we would have conversations with her friends.
Right.
We will have like, make sure if somebody is touching you and you're uncomfortable, make sure you let somebody know. You know, going through those things, you don't want that.
Right.
And I would always tell them, if you are gonna have sex, remember it's mental. It's really mental.
Yeah.
It can really mess you up.
Yeah. Only child?
Biologically, she's my only child.
Okay. What about not biologically?
I have I have bonus children.
Bonus children. Define that. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
That means the guy I was with, his children I claim as mine.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
How many?
And one of them, it's 5.
5? Wow.
Yeah. So one of them, one of his daughters and my daughter are very, very close.
Okay.
Like they call each other sisters.
Aw,
Like
that's
they
awesome.
are, and even though him and I aren't together,
Okay.
they are still sisters. You
That's
can't
awesome.
tell. You cannot say. I remember a
So
conversation that
this was from a previous relationship?
yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. That's fine. So they are they're sisters though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how different does it become as a parent and obviously you can only put yourself in one shoe because you only have a biological daughter and you had to experience that. But imagine if you had a boy, right? How different would the sex talks be? I feel like as a parent, like I don't know because I don't have kids, but like just for future reference, like when approaching a girl, are you more scared and stuff versus a guy?
I don't look at gender.
Oh, you
If
don't?
That makes sense.
Really?
I have a very big problem with
That's
people
good.
calling a woman a hoe because she wants to have sex with a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And thinking it's okay that men can do that and he's not called anything.
Yeah, that's
Don't-
a big thing though.
And it is a very big thing. And I have a major problem. Like if you listen to if you're ever around like people that I'm around, like even when I speak to clients or when I speak to my friends and things like that, and when I used to do a show last
Right.
year, I used to talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Now I am very big on holding men accountable.
Oh, they can be hoes.
Definitely.
Yeah, I used to be a hoe.
But it's okay.
No.
But see, why is it that you have to be a hoe? And I say that because I watched, my man and I at the time, we watched something on Netflix that had the like different curse words and all these different things on. It was society that made these bad words. So I said, why is it a person got to be a hoe and a slut because they decide that they enjoy sex? They actually, it's something that they enjoy. Can we look at it as the fact that, first of all, sex is pleasurable? Can we look at that? Can we look at the fact that sex is very pleasurable?
Right.
Stop saying it's bad.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. And you heightened how I feel. Like it should be more normalizing. It shouldn't be about not using the words. It should be more about normalizing and adding positivity to the term of whore,
Right.
hoe, and slut.
Right.
Like
Right.
it shouldn't be derogatory.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say I think it stems from one, obviously the patriarchy.
Of course.
Guys are, which sucks, but it is what it is. But also two, it sucks for you. I guess it's good for me.
Yeah, because men is okay.
Right.
It's okay if we have 15 women that we slept with in 2 months.
Exactly.
Or within a month.
I also think it stems from the beginning roots of the idea of a pimp and
The hoe.
the hoe.
I get it.
Yeah. There's a great book on that. I think it's called Pimp or To Be a Pimp or something like that.
Pimps up, hoes down.
Yeah, that dude.
You be your bottom.
If you ever want to read a book, I don't read
If
books.
I'm not mistaken, I actually read that, and if I'm not mistaken, it's in my storage back home in New York because
Girl, it's crazy.
I don't remember how I end up getting the book.
Yeah.
But I read it.
Girl,
But you know what? We got to think about it. Believe it or not, we got some women who are pimps too.
Oh, 100%.
And we can pimp you a lot differently.
Yes. Well, also that the whole term in the book of like the bottom bitch is kind of like a pimp within the pimp. Like
Yep.
she is also a hoe, but like she manages all the hoes.
She manages
And I
all
was
that,
like,
right?
whoa.
Now think about it, because
Madams,
right?
Do they call them madams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. We can do better. Us as women,
Yeah.
we can pimp y'all out a lot more than y'all think that
yeah.
y'all can. Cause see, y'all tend to use it in a sex way.
Oh.
Think about that.
Yeah.
When he pimps you out, what is he mainly doing? He's doing it more in the sex.
Mm-hmm.
We can pimp you out not only for sex, but for your money, for your emotions. There's women who pimp you out by getting pregnant by you and then taking you for everything.
That's the scariest thing, bro.
You know
They're
what?
crazy
And
enough.
I know it sounds crazy, but
Bro, you need to watch Euphoria. You need to watch Euphoria.
I am.
This shit
I'm
crazy.
I'm gonna watch it when I get home
telling
tonight,
you.
and I'll probably be up all
You got
night.
HBO?
I do. I have
Okay,
HBO
perfect.
Max.
Then you're good. I was
Yeah.
gonna give you a website, but
Yeah, no,
you're
no,
good.
I got HBO Max.
Good,
I do.
good.
So like I told you earlier.
Yeah.
When I watch things, I watch them for research purposes.
Right.
They're like, you don't just watch stuff for fun. Not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. As a sexuality coach, and within the next year, I'm actually gonna go back and I'm gonna become a sex therapist. So I'll be able to focus on the mind, on why.
Yeah.
So that's a coach and a therapist is two different entities.
That's gonna be huge, dude. Yeah, your income's gonna spike. You're gonna have clients. You can list yourself as a therapist, which is like huge.
Right.
You know,
Because one of the things that when I told you earlier about men being my target market, 1 in 6 men have had some sexual trauma that they don't talk about, and that's statistics.
1 in 6.
1 in 6.
That's crazy.
1 in 6
Yeah.
have, and the whole thing on the 10-year-old and the 16-year-old babysitter.
Right.
That is still sexual abuse.
Yeah.
But guess what?
It's viewed differently.
It's
though.
viewed very different. He's a macho man. Yeah, he done lost his virginity.
Yo,
at the
but
same
hold
time.
up.
But why is it? And this is real. This is real.
Yeah.
And I have been sexually molested, so I have very serious sympathy and all of that. Like it's a topic for me that.
I'm sorry, by the way.
Thank you.
You mentioned it in the book a little bit.
So it irritates me when I hear things like that.
Right.
It's like, but you only focus when it's the other way around. And then we're jacked up as women and we don't look at the men that's jacked up. One of the things that I love, and it's always said to me, I've heard it many times, is I'm very pretty, so men will open up more. I also have a personality that we can have a conversation and I'll give you a whole different perspective on how you look at stuff. And it's like, and it just happens. It does. It happens. So you have to work with what you have. I'm not a person that uses my looks as because I'm cute, he's gonna, no, I don't do that. What I do is, have open conversation. So when I meet someone and it's like, what do you do? Okay, I break it down. You help people with sex? Yeah. And then it goes into, and I laugh. I'm like, okay, so my consultation, I really charge for my consultation, but since we're having a conversation, I'll give you a little bit.
Okay.
And then stuff like that. And then, certain people will go deeper. But you also got to know when to have conversation. And not every man is going to come out and say such and such has happened because they don't feel safe.
Right.
Talking to their partner about that,
Right.
because it ends up being thrown in their face later.
I see.
Yeah,
especially with your partner.
Right. So it's that, like, the whole thing on that combination of really being close, like how we say, if you are really intimate with your partner, because I don't just look at intimacy as far as sex. When I talk to people about intimacy and being intimate, I say, get that glass of wine and have an intimate moment with that glass of wine.
Right.
Have an intimate moment with you sitting on the couch, if you live by the water, watching the water, because I happen to live I have a patio, the lake is right there. So I can open up my blinds and just watch the sunset, watch the sunrise, and I'm having that intimate moment. So it's more than just sex, because if you know the things that you enjoy intimately, you're able to transform that into with your partner and talk about, I love walks in the park. I love being able to watch the sunrise. I love drinking wine. Like, you can have an intimate moment with your favorite wine or your favorite spirit or your favorite beer, your favorite food.
Right.
It's that whole thing.
That's
So.
interesting. The whole thing of like sexual trauma, mainly with all right. So I'm gonna eliminate like having sexual trauma within your own gender. Like so, like if a an older dude molested you as a kid,
Right.
As if you're a guy,
Right.
I'm gonna eliminate that for a quick second. But more of like the older woman molesting a younger boy versus an older man molesting a younger woman. Do you think it impacts them similarly or differently? 'Cause I feel like it's different, which is weird. And I don't know why. Because, like, you hear the stories. Most of the time, if it's a guy and a girl, it can be any range of situation. It could be the uncle. It could be the dad. It could be a teacher. It could be blah, blah, blah. But when it's a girl and the guy, it's more likely like a teacher.
Or a babysitter.
Babysitter. It's like, those are the only really, like...
But believe it or not, there's sometimes where it's the aunt.
I rarely hear that. But yeah, I guess I could see it.
But you know what? Remember, men and women process things differently.
That's true. And we also mature differently. Everything's different.
Right. So we are the nurturers. So when something happens to us, it's one of those things that traumatize us, and the nurturing part of it. It's like getting out of that is difficult. Even to this day, even with going to therapy, having a therapist, just all those things, there's still certain things that trigger me that I have to be careful with.
Yeah.
My partner happens to know my triggers. My partner knows deeply what has happened to me. So with that, he's able to say up, and I can say, like, let's say a certain picture. No, this picture is a no, because this picture reminds me of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, oh, okay, good. I didn't know that before. Yeah.
Right.
Like a certain look will trigger something from me. I had to go through a grieving process of healing, even writing the book.
Wow.
In the midst of writing a book, and it put me on a standstill for about 2 days because I was triggered by something, and it shut me down for 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm an empath, so I take on anyway. So even with my clients, if you have been traumatically hurt and we're working, it's like, it's
part of the job.
It is, and I feel like that's another reason why a lot of I'm not going to say a lot because I haven't had a whole slew of clients,
right.
But the individuals who have connected with me has been one of the reasons, because I can actually feel, understand, and see what they, what they're going through.
That's crazy. I do have more topics to talk about before we go, but I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna take a quick break. Do you need to go?
No.
Anything? Okay. You have an option. You can either hang out and I'll just clip this out, or you can talk about your book. It's up to you.
No.
Okay.
I need conversation.
I'll be right back. I'll just clip it out.
Yeah.
I drink too much water in the mornings. We're doing great,
That's so
by the way.
good. Thank you. I keep being told when I'm gonna start my podcast, but now that I'm doing this here with you today, I see what I need. Not just
Let's talk
do it
about
on
that.
my
Let's
computer.
once you pop it on, I'll talk to you about that. So just over break, or like this quick, like 30-second while I was taking a pee, we were talking about how you said that you were thinking about how you're gonna start a podcast.
Yes.
Right. Well, first off, do you have any names?
It will be the Love Bar.
Ah, the Love Bar. I love that. Whenever you do start it and we have you on as a guest for your next book, we can also talk about that. Okay. With starting a podcast, dude, you don't have to do all this, by the way. You really don't. This is me going extra.
Okay, so I have done shows where I've been sitting at my house
in
front of my computer and doing it. That's been great.
Yeah.
But I've also been on podcasts when they're like, okay, Noni, I need you to start your own. Can you just, because
you would
I
be
have
great.
because I have not only just that personality, it's just one of those things. And I know everybody is different.
You got good stories too. Yeah, the gun thing, I was like, what?
But also when I give a story, like, you can visualize it.
Yeah. That's important.
You can visualize it.
That's important.
So
What are you feeling for the podcast? Like, are you gonna you're gonna do it at home? I wish I did that.
Why?
I don't have a house. I live with my sister, so that's why I'm here.
That's okay.
But yeah, well, I get my house this year, but even then, I don't think I will move this there. I would love to eventually one day have a studio at my house because it's ease of like. The only issue comes when you bring a stranger to your house.
That's why you should have a part of it off.
Yeah.
That's where my issue is.
Joe Rogan does that.
Where I want to do a practice out of my home. Like, I want to have a certain, like, I don't want you
gotta get a
in
license
my
for that.
home. That's fine. I don't want you in my home. But I want it to be where, like the women she shed type situation where.
No, I thought about that because you can literally buy a shed.
Right.
And then make it a podcast studio.
Right.
Or whatever.
Installate it and do all that good stuff.
And you can actually double that. You can use that as your own therapist area and also your podcast. That'd be pretty cool.
Right.
And then as your podcast gains traction, people already see the place and they're like, oh, I want to go there.
Right.
You just got to be careful people know your address though. So you gotta,
see, that's the other part.
Yeah, no, that's what I have to debate with. And that's why I'm here.
That's the other part. That's the other part. Like, I would rather rent an office space or, because one of the things I want to do is own a building.
Oh, my sister's cool.
A commercial building. Like, I want to own a building and then have the podcast there.
That'd be fun. You don't have to pay rent.
Because it's my own. You know, that's the whole thing. Like right now.
It's expensive, though.
See, we look at it as expensive now, but think about all the business benefits from
if you can rent out the other spaces, then you're good.
Yes.
You're golden. But that's the hard part. You gotta.
Well, that's the whole thing. You got to make sure when you do commercial spaces.
Yep.
Just think about the commercial spaces of it. Location plays a part.
So huge, yeah.
Location plays a part. What are the benefits of them renting out the location? Like, do you have office space where there's a community space where we can use? Like, you really have to go in to think.
Yeah, for sure.
The one great thing is I have all of that down and
what I want.
Well, type situation.
Hey, honestly, I tell everybody this, and I feel like I've told 2 or 3 guests on my podcast. This is episode 33, so I've had probably like 20 something guests. I feel like there was 1 or 2 that asked me about podcasting, and it seriously doesn't require you to do all this. I use my iPhones. I used to use a camera, like an actual nice camera, but then there was complications with that where the iPhone actually just eliminates it all because it films beyond 30 minutes, which is great. I don't have to touch these. They've been filming this whole time.
Right.
And you don't get distracted because there's no screen. So it's just like, makes sense. So you can literally start with just your iPhone. Now for sound quality, I recommend this. This is expensive, but this is probably the most expensive thing in the room. It's probably $600, $650. But this right here, I mean, it's not bad, but when you add everything, but this right here is everything. It does everything you need, and they make it easy for you. Okay. That's why I chose this brand. There's other ones that are better, but they're like 1,000. There's like 1,000 buttons and stuff, and I'm like, nah. I just
need something simple.
It's big. I can read it. It's great. It's simple, and it's good for me. And then I chose to do the sign. You don't even have to do that.
No, I would definitely would do the sign.
Right. The mic. This one's baller. That mic does the job, and it's under 100. So like that's boom. So really, the startup cost of your own podcast. Do you have an iPhone? Oh, you don't have an iPhone?
Galaxy.
You have Galaxy.
Android.
Galaxy might be fine. You have to check the camera quality.
My Android is pretty good.
Then you might be fine.
Yes, I know there are people who are team iPhone all the way. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But there's sometimes where I've taken pictures and somebody has taken pictures with the iPhone and be like, no, your pictures are so much better.
So, you use your phone. You just need a mic.
That's usually why I record.
You don't even need this. I just get it.
I would see. I'm like you. I have to go. Yeah. That. Like, I love this. Like, I absolutely. I had to take a picture because I just absolutely love it. Like, for me, because somebody had asked me, because the name of my brand used to be Noni Knows Things. Yeah. Which is fine. They was like, what made you decide to change it to the Love Bar? 1, I am a mixologist. 2, I'm about love. I'm truly about love. So that goes into. I'm not the whole big, you won't hear me say self-love, self-care. I am more into like truly being authentic, and it goes into the love and self-care. Yeah. But owning who you are.
Yeah.
So that's
make sure
why
that
it's
there's no
always-
one using that.
So far, I have looked it up. Nobody has
Okay,
that
good.
name.
No one. You better not use it. You better start it.
Absolutely.
At least make it like so that you claim the name.
Yeah, I have done
Oh,
the
okay.
parts of it. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
some other stuff that I need to do because it is going in for trademarking and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, that's good. All right, hopping back. So all right, where were we at? Well, I had one topic that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Rank the boroughs of New
Rank
York.
the
Yeah.
borough.
Best to worst. Best to worst. Hit me with it.
Okay, so because
I've only been to 3.
I
or 4.
am who I am, I'm always gonna rep Queens. I'm always gonna rep Queens.
Queens overall. Okay.
Queens overall. Well, Queens is each borough has something different about them.
Right.
So Queens is very, if you would consider if you be out here, very suburban. Queens is very suburban.
Right.
So like you do have projects, but you have so many houses. It's very suburban like. Brooklyn is
I love Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is fun.
Would you put that as second?
I will put Brooklyn as second.
I love Brooklyn.
I will put Manhattan as third
I
because
love
Manhattan
Manhattan.
has everything. Harlem, all of that. Like people in Harlem.
I
all
love
that.
Harlem. I got people in Harlem.
I would just rank the Bronx and Staten Island last. Like
Staten last or Bronx last. I got friends from the Bronx.
I have
I got friends from everywhere too.
I have
Staten
friends in the
Island
Bronx.
too.
My niece is born and raised in Staten
Yeah.
Island, so you know. But
No one likes Staten Island.
It's not that okay. So it's not that nobody likes Staten Island. Staten Island is its own entity of
Mm-hmm.
life, though. When you look at the history of Staten Island, it's close to Jersey, so you know they want to be on their own anyway. You know
Yeah.
they rather be,
Yeah.
a part of whatever. The Bronx. If you ever listen to Power 105 and listen to Charlemagne the God,
Oh,
he
I
talks
do.
about-
Of course. I listen to his podcast too
Yes.
with Andrew Schultz and him.
Yeah. He talks about the Bronx. He's like, when he does his donkey of the day, from Florida or the Bronx.
Right.
The Bronx is a different entity of
Yeah.
life. It's just like
He's a great symbol of what more people should be like because there's not a lot of people who are successful black men that talked about mental illness. And he does. And I love that. I'm like, thank
Absolutely.
God. Like we
he's-
need an Asian guy.
He's an advocate for
Yes.
mental health.
We don't have that yet. And
Why not?
I think it's instilled in our culture, where that's the same
same
thing
thing
with
for us.
and that's why it took so long.
Right.
Where I think that's also part of the reason why most of the time, and I could be generalizing, but black people, for instance, will get along with Asian people because we kind of like we share some of the
I
stuff.
can see that.
At least in my experience, every time I hang out with a black person, like they like my black friends like Tyler and all of them, I can name all of them, but they all kind of like relate with our experiences, at least growing up.
Right.
Because we all had our parents were tough and never really like talked about like certain things. Like my parents never talked to me about sex. I don't even know half their lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very like hard.
Right.
Like they have a high expectation for you because they don't want you to end up how it was wherever they grew up.
Where are you from? Where you from?
Born in Vietnam, grew up most of my life in Greensboro, but the culture that I was raised in was Vietnamese. Like my parents grew up with nothing, like in Vietnam and all that. So they were always like, we're giving you all this so that you can,
Right.
And then
Do you think that's why your sister is so hard and she's successful?
1,000%, 1,000%.
And see, you usually hear the men in the Asian culture
Yes.
that are very, very successful. And for you to lay out everything that your sister has, I'm sitting back and like,
so here's the thing.
so shout out to your sister.
So with the Asian culture, we have the oldest person has to take care of everything.
Okay.
And on top of that, the man is predominantly the golden boy. So I was the golden boy, and I still kind of am, which is weird. But like my sister did everything, and it's crazy to me because like no matter how much she does, no matter how much I do, I will get always get more credit, and I feel bad. We talk about it. She doesn't feel bad because she understands, but I'm just like that's kind of fucked up. And like in American culture, it's completely different.
How far apart are you and your sister?
10 years.
Oh, so she's 34.
Yeah, she's 34.
So
Yeah.
y'all a whole decade apart.
Yep. And we only became like really good friends when I turned like 18, and I became actually old enough to like understand. Because before, like it was so distant. She was like my mom, So,
that makes
but yeah,
sense.
what were we just talking
the
about?
culture.
Yeah.
The culture is very, very close. Like
Yeah.
I'm half Puerto Rican and half black.
Yeah.
So it's that mixture. It's my mom was the oldest and her siblings. My dad was the oldest boy. And it is very different. It is, you take care of your family.
Yeah.
You know.
And the black culture, along with the Asian culture, we always emphasize like you're gonna deal with it yourself. Like, and that's why the mental illness is like so late to come on, because I rarely see, and in California you'll see it, but in the East Coast it's hard to find an Asian therapist because I'm sure there are some, but it's not oftentimes, we're too prideful to like go to a therapist. Like, I don't have one. Eventually I probably will, because I want one just to know. My girlfriend is a huge advocate for one. She has one. And yeah, our whole culture, we're just kind of like, we're going to deal with it.
You probably will find one more in New York than
New
you would be out
York,
here.
Cali,
Right.
Florida. I feel like those are the only ones.
Because, but just like out here,
good old North Carolina. You don't like North Carolina?
No.
Why?
I do not. And I started my fourth year in North Carolina on February 9th. I moved out here in 2000.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the trauma, the things that I've gone through since I've been in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, so it's the experiences.
It's just, I came out here because God was like, "You're gonna go to move to Charlotte, North Carolina." I was like, why there? Okay. And I literally packed up 2 duffel bags, my laptop, and came down here on a flight one way.
From New York?
From New York.
Wow.
I had no job.
Yeah.
I had no money.
Wow.
No place to stay.
Wow.
I had nothing.
What'd you do?
There's nothing.
What the fuck?
So
that's crazy.
When I got off the airplane, I found an Airbnb for 2 days.
Right.
Then there was somebody, I was in this group, a manifestation group, and somebody happened to live in Concord. And I stayed at her house. I ended up renting an Airbnb for months at a time, living there. But I got here on a Thursday night.
Right.
Went to my friend's house on Saturday. Was applying. Spent Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday filling out job applications from every type of job possible.
Right.
I ended up getting a job at the hotel.
Oh.
Working at the front desk.
Okay.
And I started there. I moved into my Airbnb on a Tuesday. I had the interview on Wednesday, got the job the same day, and started a week later. Then moved to another Airbnb where I rented out monthly. Wow. I wish I would have known better. I would have definitely not did that. I would have just gotten an apartment, but I wasn't thinking at that time. And then the Airbnb, she didn't want me there anymore.
What?
So I ended up homeless again.
What do you do when you're homeless in that situation?
At that point, I had actually one of my good friends, one of my best friends. She happened to live in South Carolina.
Lovely.
She happened to live in South Carolina. She came to get me and my stuff.
That's great.
And I stayed at her house for a week.
Okay.
And the hotel I was working at, I could have gone back every month to work a certain amount of things and everything. And I came back. I worked for the week. He was like, "Noni, do what you want to do." I was leaving. I was going to Florida.
Whoa.
I was going to Florida. And the crazy thing when we're going to Florida was there was 3 flights and every flight was canceled because of the weather. Because I couldn't leave straight from Charlotte to where I was going in Florida. I had to go to New York and then back.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. So one of my cousins was actually living in Greensboro at the time, and she had hit me up. She was like, "No, don't go to Florida, come to Greensboro." And I was like, "I don't want to stay here anymore." And she was like, "No, come." And I was like, "Fine."
And is this where you got the Kandi job?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I lived with my cousin from July of 2018. I was working at the hotel. I ended up transferring to the hotel out here. And then in February of 2020, I moved into my own apartment.
Wow.
And I moved into my own apartment February 18th. The world shut down March 18th. Yeah. And I started Bedroom Kandi 2 weeks later.
And do they pay commission?
We do get paid commission.
Okay.
We do.
Everybody, please buy some sex toys by bedroomkandi.com/11526. Support your girl.
And we also have bath stuff too, and men's products, and makeup.
And do you get a good chunk?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
do.
Because
I
I'm
do.
gonna buy some stuff then.
Yeah, I
Help
do.
support.
Yes,
you know.
I do.
And this too.
Yes,
And this too,
And the
guys.
book on Amazon. On
Yep,
Amazon.
on
If you
Amazon.
want to, if you
I'll
want
put
an
the link.
autograph copy, just hit me up, and I got some
I'll get
autograph
the link.
copies.
I'll get
for you.
one later,
Yeah.
right now.
But yeah, so it's been very traumatizing.
That's crazy.
I've opened up to people.
Yeah.
I've got friends. So it's been rough for me. But as people will always tell me, you're so strong. I don't want to hear that. I get it. I am strong. But this was a way for me to help people.
Yeah.
It was definitely a way.
You know, and I'll tell you just based off of how I experienced North Carolina versus like other states that I've been to. I've been to 15, 16 states.
Okay.
I've been a good amount. And the thing, there's obviously pros and cons to every place.
Absolutely.
The cons of North Carolina is, yes, there's very southern. It's slower pace, unless you're in Charlotte. Charlotte is probably, and Raleigh.
Right.
Charlotte and Raleigh are probably the only high pace areas. Outside of there, even Greensboro, even though we're a top 60 city, it's slow pace.
And it's a college town.
College town, kinda. Depends on where you live. Most of it is a college town, I would say. But if you live in the northwest or northeast area, where like the friendly battleground,
Okay.
you're not really close to college, so you
Okay.
kind of do your own thing. And then if you live in the boonies, like far out Oak Ridge and stuff, then you're not really connected to the college.
Right.
But other than that, so yeah, those are downsides. It's very southern, all that. But what I will say, the benefit of North Carolina to me is also those drawbacks. The fact that you get space, the fact that you can choose whether you want to go out and see people or you can just stay to yourself. If you're in New York, Los Angeles, a big city like Miami, you don't really get space.
Well, considering where I lived at in Queens, so
yeah, maybe.
Before I officially left New York, I lived in an area called Glen Oaks, which is a high middle class area.
Oh, okay.
Very, very family oriented.
Okay.
That's just how it was. One of the top districts as far as school, not only in Queens, but within New York City in general.
Yeah.
So for me, they're like, oh, because it's quiet. It's not the quiet. It's the mentality of people for me. That's one of the drawbacks. It's the mentality of people. It's the people that...
I agree.
And it's the people play victim. When they want to come at you, they want to start stuff. Like, I've heard it a lot. I've met some people even recently, and they're like, I can honestly say I love New York. This one particular young lady, she was like, my ex is from New York.
Yeah.
I absolutely love New York. And she said, y'all very real, very open. She said, she said, as a Southern belle, we are fake and phony.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And she says, we do tend to play the victim. And I've heard that. And I've been around different age groups. I've been around different ethnicities. So it's not just me saying, oh, it's this particular.
Yes.
No, y'all do understand there's stuff bigger outside of North Carolina.
And I want to say two things with that. It depends on who you are as a person. True. On if you'll like North Carolina. Because you're right. The mentality here is I'm going to grow up my life. I'm going to have kids here and I'm going to live here.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And that's for some people,
that's cool.
It's the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
It's just that. Now, the reason why I like it and I'm not like that is because I stand out. I am a center of attention. I am a attention whore. I know I'm honest. Like why do you think I do YouTube? Why do you think I do podcasts? I'm on TV tomorrow at 8 p.m. or this last week. Right. It's things like that but if I lived in LA, yes, I'd probably get more opportunities.
Right.
New York, yes, I'd get more opportunity. I like New York a lot. I go there every year, 3 times a year, 3 times. My girlfriend's from New York. Right. She's from Westchester. But the thing about going to those places is I don't end up standing out anymore. I am
right because
common.
New York has a large Asian population.
Yeah,
so
I like that. But that's me.
Which is fine because that's what you want. And
exactly.
I do stand out here.
Yes.
I do stand out.
So that's the one benefit?
I do stand out. Even with me being a sexuality coach, the church that I used to go to, one of the pastors there wanted me to do her event. And I was like, you want me?
Right.
You know She was like, yes. And when I sent her my book, she was like, I absolutely want you on
Yes,
there. She
that's
said,
awesome.
being a 50-plus-year-old woman, you explain things that
You're 50 plus?
No, not me. I'm
Oh,
44.
I was like,
no, her.
get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm going to be 45.
Okay,
I'm
you
gonna be
still
40.
look really young, girl.
Thank you.
When you told me your daughter was my age, I was like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, keep
Yeah,
going. Black
so-
don't crack, that's why.
That's why. She was like, her, which is her, when I say me, her being a 50 plus, like, you went to, I didn't know that. You know, that's one of the benefits I feel like is I have entered a market where something that I love, I love helping people become better versions of themselves.
Right.
So whatever I can do to help them become that better version,
Right.
I'm all for it. You
I
know,
agree.
it's time for me to make a lot more money doing it, but I'm
Yeah.
all for, you can have a conversation with me and I will have you look at something so differently.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you saying, oh, I wouldn't do this. I would just do it at my home. No, you need to do it like this because
Yeah,
this would
yeah.
make it better.
I like
And this
it.
would be like that. So that's how one of the things when it comes to me is
Interesting.
I look at it that way.
Well, hey, regardless if you hate it or not, we need you here in North Carolina.
I'll
I'm
be
just
here
like,
for a
you do-
little bit longer.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
Again, it's if you're planning on staying in one place, North Carolina isn't it.
Not at all.
I like North Carolina because I like to travel. So I put a home base here. I travel for all the fun that I need and for my YouTube. And then I come back and I'm like, okay, time for me to wind down.
Right.
So it's different. But like, again, if you're, I don't like that small town mentality.
Right.
If you lived here, you would go crazy. Burlington, where we're at right now. Girl, if you think Greensboro is bad, the people here, we're going on a trip this weekend, which already happened when this airs, to Miami. Some of the girls never flown, never been anywhere outside North Carolina. Tell me about that.
Well,
That's
you know
crazy.
what? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm from New York. There's people who are from the Bronx. There are people who've never left the
That's true.
radius of where they live.
That's true.
Of a mile radius.
That's true.
So it's
But-
not that no. And when I say mile radius,
Yeah.
I mean they literally only stay
Oh,
in
that's
where
crazy.
they are.
That's crazy.
And that's real. Like
Yeah.
if you talk to a lot, there are people who've never gone to Queens, who've never gone to Manhattan.
That's just so weird to me.
It's weird when you think about it, but then it's not weird because it's really based on
Who you are.
who you are, how you were raised.
Yep.
You know, like one of the things we talk about, how both our cultures are the same, where it's like, no, you keep everything in here. You don't have
That's true.
conversations outside.
That's true.
You know, type thing. And see me, I love to travel.
Right.
Like my goal is to be the sexuality coach that travels everywhere.
Do
Like, I
conventions,
love
do
all
things.
of that.
That'd be
Like
fun.
that's the goal for me is
Yeah.
to do, you know, have workshops and just do
Yeah.
all those things. Like I don't mind. I have a passport. I don't mind getting on a plane. Like I've
Right.
already started planning my 45th birthday. You know,
What?
they was like, "What you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to Vegas." They was like, "You going to Vegas?" I said,
Ah,
"Yep." And I'm going to see
Vegas.
Usher. I said, "I love Vegas." Yeah. I said, "I'm going from this day to this day." They was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you." I said, "And whoever wants to come, come. Whoever
Right.
doesn't, it's okay."
You balling out in Vegas or you just having fun, like chilling? Because I got some recommendations.
See, I love Vegas. This would be my third time.
Third time?
This would
I've
be
been
my
there
third
once.
time.
I've been there once.
This would be my third time. So
Are you a gambler?
a little bit.
I'm not a big one. I do poker, but that's it.
See, that I don't know how to play poker.
You know why I like poker? Because you can kind of control your destiny. Where if you play like slots or you play a lot of that, that's really big gambling. Like it's
Right.
all based on luck.
See, the one thing I do is play penny machines. And I've won.
Those are fun.
Right.
Those
and
are fun.
I've won.
Yeah.
I think the most I've won was it?
It's
I was
purely
in
luck.
Florida. I think I won $1,000.
Wow, that is so lucky. You know how
Right.
hard it is to win one of those things,
Right.
Bruh.
Absolutely. See, and I want to learn how to play poker. I would love to sit at a poker table.
Poker's fun. If you do play in Vegas, you would probably want to start at Flamingo, the hotel.
Okay.
That's
I've known
that's
that
the
hotel.
that's the lowest buy-in, and it's hit or miss. Like you'll either get in with all noobs, which is
Okay.
great because then you're like, okay, everybody doesn't really know.
Right.
But then might be that one dude who's doing that on purpose because everyone is beginners. So you gotta be careful. But yeah, I love my favorite restaurants there.
your favorite
Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. You have to get reservations though. But I love that place. I don't like his other restaurants because I went to one in his actual signature one in London and it was not good. But Hell's Kitchen,
Is that the one where it's like small? It's
you know
little?
where Caesar's Palace is?
Yes.
It's right outside Caesar's Palace. It's small. It has the pitchfork and the HK, just like from the TV show.
But the inside. How big is the inside? Is it a regular size restaurant?
I think it's regular. I think it is.
I'm trying to think because I think we went there. What's that? I remember us going. I think we did, and I didn't end up liking it.
No. Do you like beef?
I do.
What did you get there?
That's what depends. But I think we also went kind of late too when we went.
Because they have a Gordon's special, which is like it's like $85, which is like, or now it might be like 100, which is a steal for what you get. Because if you order it separately, it's like 160. Okay. But if you get this, it's a 3-course menu, and you get any appetizer of your choice, and then your entree is any entree, but you want to get the what he's good at, which is beef Wellington. Okay. Which is a steak inside of this like pie crust deliciousness. And they put mashed potato. Girl, that is what is worth.
Shellfish and pork.
Nope. There is a shellfish option for appetizer, but you don't have to pick that. You can pick the other one. Yeah. And then the dessert has to be the sticky toffee pudding. It is ice cream on top of this. So he makes it out of dates that are grinded, and it's like a cake that is like, it's like a wet cake with ice cream on. Oh, girl.
Oh, see,
it's what you get. What you get.
I'm turning 45, so this is not going to be. I'm going to see Usher on the 31st.
Usher's going to be so fun.
Yes, because I love Usher. Yeah, I've been a huge fan.
What's your favorite song?
Actually, Papers is one of my.
Papers is good. Yeah, I like Moving Mountains.
Moving Mountains is good.
That was an old one.
There was another one that he just came out recently. Sex Talk is good too.
I haven't listened to his new stuff that much.
Sex Talk is good. I've actually played Sex Talk when I've done bedroom candy parties in the background.
You know what? I sometimes I'll like every year I'll go back and watch Usher's music video with R. Kelly. Do you remember that song that they made?
What makes you go back to watch that?
Because it's funny. Like R. Kelly's in prison now.
Same girl.
Yeah, same girl. It was a funny video too.
Same girl, yeah.
Dude, everything R. Kelly did was funny. And now I'm just like, you fucked everything up. Yeah. And that's why you were funny, probably because you were crazy. Right. We should have known from his closet.
The Closet series.
Bro, that is so funny.
Let me tell you what's crazy. Do you watch basketball?
Yeah, I love basketball.
So you watched All-Star Weekend?
Yeah.
Did you see Usher on Sunday when he was
announcing?
He was announcing. No, not that part. He was actually sitting up with was it Reggie Miller?
I didn't see it.
He did a picture. Go back if you can Google it. And he was 13 years old with Reggie Miller. He had on this because Reggie Miller was wasn't he a Detroit Piston?
I don't know if he was, but I know he was in Indiana Pacers. That's when he was got big.
So he had on the Pacers, but Usher had on, if I'm not mistaken, Indiana jersey.
Okay.
But he was 13.
Wow.
13 years old, and he was. I think it was Reggie Miller he was with, and it was so dope to see because Usher's 40 something, 40 plus, and it was like, yo, 30 years. Yeah, he's been in the industry. When you think about 30 years,
30 years. Not a lot of people get to stay in it.
No.
Yeah.
No, and he's going, and the reason why I chose Vegas this time is because he's coming back to do Vegas again.
Oh wow. Like for good?
No. Just from July to October.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of events. And those shows are crazy too.
Right.
They're fun. It's like, and then after you still can go out because Vegas is up all night.
Like New York.
Yeah, New York.
Except since COVID.
Here's my thing about those places though. It's so expensive to drink there. I'm not a big drinker anymore, but when I was, Vegas was like one single shot. You're looking at $20-something. New York, some parts of New York is like that. Manhattan,
depending on what spot you go to.
Yeah.
But that's why when you go to Vegas too, you got to learn how to go downtown where the Golden Nugget is and get you some drinks.
Oh, I just go to CVS because they sell liquor there, and you can walk outside and drink it. So I just drink it there, and then I'll go in pregame. Yeah.
Pre-game, there's absolutely nothing wrong with pre-game.
Right. All right. Let's see if there's any other topics before we close this out.
Okay.
We talked about favorite sex toys.
No, you didn't.
What's your favorite sex toys in bedroom candy?
The Womanizer is
my number one. Is that the one that goes up to 7?
Yes.
Okay. How much is that?
It is $129.
Oh,
when somebody, it is, but it's also rechargeable.
Ooh,
Like
okay.
all our high end toys are all rechargeable.
Okay.
That's what I was trying. That's what I wanted to say earlier. Yeah, we start at 26. That's battery operated. When you
So
get
battery operated, like
it's-
you just gotta refill it.
you got to put a battery. So think about it. So that's like our rocket and stuff like that, like small bullets. When you can invest into something bigger and recharge it
Right.
and pay it, and our toys range from 6 months to 2-year warranties.
Okay. Hold on. I want to pull up the toys while we're
Okay.
talking about it. Let me just connect my TV real quick
Okay.
since we're talking on the topic. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorites. I actually, if you are into bondage,
Okay.
we have it's called our Desires line, and we just released the Spread 'em bar.
Okay.
So it has, you can buy the double pack where it's you have 2 Spread 'em bars that you can use for your arms or your legs. And
Okay.
it comes with wrist cuffs and ankle cuffs,
Interesting.
a blindfold.
All right, let's pull this up so people can see. Bedroomcandy.com.
Yeah.
All right.
/11516.
Oh. Sorry. Bedroomcandy.com/11526. Oh, why can't I pull it up? Bedroom Candy.
K and
That's why. Guys, it's Bedroom Candy with a K. That's why. Okay, .com/11526. I'm gonna put it on the screen over here. And then let me screen record so that everybody can see. Oh, nope, this is not it. I would have gotten canceled. Wait, okay, hold up. Let me do this again. Bedroom.
KANDY.com.
Let me just go .com first.
Okay.
Why is it not pulling up?
Are you spelling it right? BED.
BEDROOM.
KANDI.
DI.
Yeah.
Man, I should have known that. It's Bedroom Candy with a K and an I. The I part. Okay, and then /11526. If you don't spell it right, you're gonna get a Cam Girls. There we go.
There you
Boom.
go. See,
Okay, so let me
boom.
screen record so everybody can see what's going on here. Alrighty, let me hop back in.
You see the makeup? See, I told you we got makeup too. That's another one of my favorite toys. Make
All right.
me over.
And we are screen recording in 3, 2, 1. All right, so you guys can see right now. So remember, guys, it's Bedroom and then Candy with a K and an I. So KANDI.com/11526. And if you don't spell it right, you're gonna get a Cam Girl. So be careful. But yeah, here we got Noni's page, and then you can hit the shop now. Or okay, you got a little section right here. Party with
Right.
me. I'm gonna hit that shop now right here.
So you got the new releases. Click on the new releases.
New
with
releases.
Candy on the phone. So
Okay.
we got edibles.
So this is Candy.
That's Candy.
Okay.
Yes, from Escape.
Okay.
Who's been a businesswoman for over 20 years. So that's
Oh.
the Spread 'em bar. Now the
Spread 'em
top
bar.
Yeah, the Spread 'em bar. Then you have the handcuffs.
Handcuffs.
You have Groove, which you can put in her panty, and you have the remote control.
Make this bigger. There we go. Wait, where's the remote control?
Down. Groove right there.
Oh, okay.
So we have two.
Wait, what is this?
You have 2 versions of this.
Okay.
So this Groove right here, you can put inside her panty, and you have the remote control, so y'all could be out
Oh,
and
that's
you can
fun.
play with it. But we also have one called Oh My Body, which is
Oh.
app related. So that one is more.
Ooh.
That one is 120. You won't see it up here. Like I would have to order that on the back end for you if you're interested in it. And you can actually, like, let's say you were here in North Carolina and your girlfriend is back home in New York. You can have the Oh My Bod app, and
And
Oh
it
My
can
Body
control it?
and it can control it. She can put it
What?
on. Yes. So I'll show you that, and then you can post it up in there too.
And that's all for the 120.
No.
Oh, that one you have to
that's
special
the-
order.
That's the one that we have to order in the back end.
How much is that?
That one is 120.
Oh, so
Is
still
it
what? It's still
like,
around.
It's kind of like
That's
the same.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
awesome, dude.
The Sugar Daddy is an elixir that's new that just came out
What
a
is an
couple of weeks
elixir?
ago. So, like, if you sweat a lot,
Oh.
So we also have one called hot cakes.
Okay.
So the sugar daddy is the one for men, and the hot cakes is for women. And it actually smells like the hot cake smells like cake. The sugar daddy actually smells like lemon pound cake. And if you sweat a lot, you can place it under your balls. You can place it under your arms and the area, all the areas. So it actually has this scent and stuff like that, and it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we have our suspense. So that's our swing. That's so much fun, also. Yes, you put it over
never
your door.
use a swing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you can exercise with it. So
How would you like?
It literally is. So you have the two hand things where you hold up.
Okay.
She can be sat on the swing.
And then you have sex like
You
that.
can have sex that way. You can have sex doggy style way. It's so many different ways.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Right. So yeah, these are fun stuff. Those are cards.
Do you guys have blowjob spray? You guys should invest in that.
I
That's
don't
the
think
future.
it's blowjob spray, but we have something called like if you go back and you go up to our lubes, our foreplay, like we have bedroom Bath and Body Works. So it's not just toys. We have men's products also at the same time. We also have makeup.
Wow.
So under the lubes and more. So Delicious Encounters. You can use that.
Right here.
Right. Then natural.
What is this for? These are lubricants?
These are when you giving for head. We also have pheromone stuff. We also do have an arousal one that does keep you hard for it. So like these are all the different things.
So what the lubricant that is for head? This is for the women to use, for men's head, or
you can
for
use
both?
them both.
What does it do?
It stimulates. So you have the flavor. We also have
I'll go back.
what is it? Oh my goodness. So we do have when you say blowjob cream, what is it that you're actually meaning?
Girl, you need to tell Kandi to hop on this. This is the future. I'm telling you. It's blowjob spray, and you can find it on Amazon. The only thing that sucks about the one that we got, everything is great about it. It's just the taste. It's not amazing. It's a strawberry flavor, but it kind of tastes like medicine. But it's a spray that has it's a chemical in like Hall's medicine
to
and
help
stuff.
numb your throat.
Yes.
Okay.
Numbness.
So we do have the Sweet on Me.
Sweet on me. Where's
Is it
that?
Sweet on Me or Slickable? Sweet on Me. Go down a little bit.
Slickable's here.
It's not.
Sleek.
Click on Slickable real quick.
Slickable.
Yeah, is this the one that's the numbing one?
Oh, but one of them has the numbing.
We do have it as, so it's not called blowjob cream, but it actually does numb the inside.
Because that is a game changer for women.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, ladies, if you hold your left hand like this and you bring it down,
it helps with the gag.
the gag reflex.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different products.
That's cool. What's your favorites again? It was
mine is the
Let's find that.
It's not going to be on here. I will have to show you. Yeah, because you have to order it on the back end. It was originally, but now they don't have it up.
Wild.
But go up. This is the Get in Touch. That is really amazing also.
Oh, it's not expensive.
No. So, and it's rechargeable.
Okay.
So you put it on your finger. So if you want pleasure on your own, you can sit back, place it on your finger, and you can have penetration at the same time. And it's only $38.
That's something Lauren would love.
Right, because you can use it on your own.
Yeah.
And you can use it in our...
Because we have something like this, but it's like an off-brand. Like,
okay. So all our toys are made with high-grade silicone. They're very soft.
Okay.
So you... paraben free, so you don't have all those things inside.
Wow.
Like those are the two lower ones.
These are like the name brands right here. They got the little...
Yeah, so we have the Rocket and the Turbo, which are
those are bullets, right?
Those are the bullets.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are cheaper because those are batteries.
Okay, I see.
Those are batteries. So then also one of my other favorites is Cuddle.
Do you know the speed for these? Like the Cuddle, the bullet?
They actually, one of them has 5 and the other one has 7. Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's a good alternative.
So Adventure is a lot of fun because Adventure you're getting 3. So you're getting clitoris, a G-spot penetration. You see how it's curved a little bit?
Is there a butt? Is that for your butt?
Yes.
Do girls feel good during anal?
Everybody's different.
Okay,
so the key to anal
yeah
is lots of lube and relaxation.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it, but I haven't done it with my current girlfriend.
Does she like it?
I think she's terrified of it.
Okay, so here's the thing. That's one of the things where
I mean, I don't have to do it. It's just
no, I know.
you know.
But we have, it's called our CBD lube,
Oh.
which, so.
She can get high while I'm playing.
So you put it on before.
Yeah.
So we have a whole CBD collection.
Right.
So we have lube, a serum,
Okay.
a relaxation cream, and it's made with lavender. And we also have a soy candle.
Oh, fun.
That you can use, you light up at
What?
the same time and massage at
What?
the same time. Yes. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's dope. It's really
Yeah.
dope.
Wow.
So with the CBD lube, for tensing up, it actually helps relax your muscle.
Ooh. Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, so definitely take a look at the website in general.
Yeah.
And look at it. If you have any questions.
Okay, so based off of this, the
Right.
ones that I'm gravitating towards is to
Okay.
get in touch.
Yes.
I like that. If we were to ball out, we would get that the one that I have to contact you for the
Okay.
app, because that would be fun. A little expensive, but it's fun
But
because I could do it from afar, which
Yes.
is really fun.
Yes.
And then the CBD thing, if she ever wanted to.
CBD. But you can use a CBD lube no matter what
Yeah.
because it's a water-based lube.
Interesting.
It's a water-based. So if you go into lubes, it'll pull up like lubes. And we have bath stuff. So there it goes right there.
Oh.
It's $49, but it's
Okay.
100. It's 100
Mil.
yeah. So with it, you get 100 pumps, and you only need one pump.
Yeah.
One pump from it.
Hey, that's
so even
that's
if it's
50
49
cents a anal session,
I'm
guys.
saying, and it's a lot of fun. It's real relaxation.
Okay.
So, get that whole started. Like
Yeah.
it says 15 minutes prior.
This would
put
be
it on-
great for gay dudes too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel
Absolutely.
like this would be a great
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And we're very big on the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. I see that. You guys have a
Very,
section for
very-
that.
Very,
Which is
very
great.
big.
I'm
Very
actually
big.
curious. I'm not. Well, I support, but I'm not in it.
Right.
But
So the T lube. So that
what
one.
is this for?
So the T lube, transgenders, and also women in menopause.
Oh,
Yes.
because you lose sensation once you get
Absolutely.
menopause, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
You get really dry. So yes. So we like that. It's a plethora.
Just
of-
between us.
Yes. So that one, you have the bullet inside. Also, you're having regular sex. So it will go inside
I
both.
see.
So it's a strap on without the strap.
Oh,
So both of you are getting
wow.
pleasured at the same
What
time.
the fuck? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's a lot of fun too. I've had that.
What?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I have never.
Yeah. So like I said, we have bath and body too. We have men's stuff.
Yeah.
Our shea butters.
Bath and body.
Yeah, our shea butter comes from Ghana, so supporting Black businesses.
Wow.
Our sugar daddy and
That's crazy.
stuff like we literally have Black women who our pure and balanced bar made by a Black woman.
That
so
is
it's big.
crazy. Wow. Well, thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome.
I think that's everything. Do you have anything you wanted to say? Let's shout out all your stuff here. So, guys, if you guys look on Amazon, and all these links will be in the description box. She has a book on Amazon Books. It's gonna be "Sis, Do You Know How Sexual You Are?" And this is by Noni Fanta. Fanta's on here, and then also, she is going to be in the future doing a podcast. It's going to be called The Love Bar. And she has another book coming out this April. We'll have her back on at some point in April or May so we can promote it. And let's see what else. Do you have some social media you want to shout out?
My social media is the THA _ love LUV _ bar BAR _ sexuality coach Noni Fanta.
We got to make that shorter,
Right.
girl.
I know.
I'll have it in the
but-
description box.
But and I'm also on Facebook under Noni Fanta. I mean
Okay.
Noni Repass.
That makes it easy.
Right. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook.
And if you guys want to support her, by the way, the link is bedroomcandy, KANDI.com/11526.
Yes.
Awesome. Anything else?
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys next week.